Hey everybody, we're here for a new episode of RLG Cast Reviews. Today we're talking about Loki, the show, season 2, Marvel, Disney. I'm here with Putty, I'm here with JD, and we're just gonna bust it down to the mustard and the sauce. We'll give you a quick little breakdown and a score, and
Monster sauce?
monster sauce, and then we'll talk about it for a bit after that. And Putty, as usual, is gonna explain to us what this show's about.
So, strands. Okay, so basically the sacred timeline is broken and we have to fix it, and Loki can ritz around in time, and they have to find a way to fix the splintered time
The loom.
paths. Loom, yes, thank you, the loom.
No one knows what a loom is in 2023.
But they have to fix the loom, of course. So it's Loki, of course, because it's his show. It's his job to fix the loom, and so we are on his adventure of fixing this loom with a King the Conqueror, which is not King the Conqueror. He's actually another guy, but we'll get into that as we go through the rest of this review.
All right, that was actually pretty good. If you see me lagging, it's because I'm lagging. If you see my screen turn off, it's because I'm sneezing, and we'll figure all of this out as we go. So this was a show.
It was
a show, and I think, should we just get all the cats out of the bags without spoilers?
Sure.
Okay.
Season 2 of Loki is, in the MCU, arguably
the best Doctor Who series.
But to some, but in my opinion, it's the easily best thing that Marvel ever made. Like, it's not even close.
I still think
the first season is nothing compared to this season. This season,
no,
really?
I would still put Falcon and Winter Soldier above this.
I wouldn't. I watched this show and I left and I was absolutely jaw dropped. I have never seen a feat of writing like this ever in Marvel, period. It was
really good.
There's so much going on and it made sense the whole time. Which we're going to review Captain Marvel next, which doesn't make any sense the whole time.
The Marvels, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I couldn't believe it.
It's so good how the way, like, they're feeding, it's like literally the way it worked was they were feeding you little threads the whole way until you pieced it all together yourself at the end.
And it just told a really cohesive story that had so much character like reliance. Everyone was important. Everyone had strong backstories and characteristics. I'm assuming I'm lagging because
a little bit.
I can see myself.
We're okay on this end.
But I couldn't believe it. I'm just gonna be honest. As a complete show, I don't know if it's all the way at the top for me, but this season, specifically just this season, is probably the best thing Marvel has ever done, in my opinion.
It's the best of the last two phases for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Captain Falcon,
Falcon
and the Winter Soldier was all really good. I'm not going to pretend like it wasn't.
Yeah, like, I mean, we had Russell with almost an Emmy-worthy performance. Like,
I just think the acting performances here are phenomenal. Tom Hiddleston,
I love the addition.
Was it
of Ke-Huy Quan? Ke-Huy Quan? I love the addition of this guy. This guy was by far the best character on the show. Ouroboros.
The Aurora Borealis.
Yes, and how essentially this whole season was one big Ouroboros.
That's true. This show did Doctor Who as good as Doctor Who has ever Doctor Who'd. This show Star Trek as good as the stars have ever trekked.
One of the best Bill and Ted's movies.
Yeah, one of the best Bill and Ted movies we've gotten. Station wasn't even in it.
Was he? Did Frank Welker do any voices in this one?
I don't. Miss Minutes is basically like
Station.
He's like Station.
Station.
That was pretty good. Putty, tell us why this is not a good show.
I didn't say it wasn't a good show. I don't think it's as good as the first season in my eyes. As far as character development, yes. This has spot on the best character development of any of the Disney Plus series altogether. Storyline, I guess maybe the reason why it fell short to me was because we're in this weird thing, which we'll talk about a little bit later and everything, of like so many. I mean, the thing is what this made the season great was actually the start off point. I actually feel like the ending was good, but I feel like I'm missing something. Like there's a piece of it that's missing, and I don't want to get into it without getting really deep into spoilers, but I enjoyed it. I still like
I
the
thought the
first
ending
season
was
better.
fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That
See,
was mind blowing.
well, no. Here's my thing. Here's the reason. There's a reason why, and I'm going to wait till we get there.
Okay,
It's
we'll
not
wait.
saying that it's bad. It's not saying that's bad, but I'll put it this way. I think what made it hard for me is if it was a standalone itself thing, it's good. You know what I mean? But because we're still intertwining ourselves in a bigger picture, as a fan, I'm sitting here going, how does this to there? You know what I mean?
But
And that's what I'm going to get into.
This is what I specifically really liked about this show. There is no to anything.
No,
Loki
becomes the god of stories.
You don't even need to be a Marvel fan to watch this.
Well, no, and I agree with that. But that's what I'm trying to get into. Is like it's such a weird thing that we're in now, where it's like, you know, pick where are you going? Are you connecting things? Are you keeping?
But it does. If
it will. Okay. I think this is going to connect to Secret Wars somehow.
Well, no, it is. But see, the thing is, I know why, and I'm going to talk about that later, or what I think is going to be. But that's my whole point. See, the reason again, I want to wait till we're not getting into spoiler territory, but it's just like, for example, the first season, I'll use the first season example. The first season, we had very, very story arc where we took a villain that was a great villain throughout the movies and even the comic books, and we turned it into a good character because people just love him, Tom Hiddleston as Loki. It's just
and that's exactly it. This was the best redemption story I have ever watched.
I agree. I think what it is, and again, this is just going back to the fandom with me, is that yes, when I'm watching Loki now, he is the superhero, but there's other things that I'm putting in my head, and that's the problem that I tend to have, of course, is thinking about the bigger picture of everything. Because when I watch Disney now, or not Disney, but Marvel, MCU in general, it's now one of those things where, because they've implanted that whole idea of everything is connected, it becomes one of those things when I'm sitting here watching it, I'm enjoying it, but then all of a sudden I'm thinking, where's this going to connect?
Hold on, and I'm going to knock you on this, and I'm going to knock you hard in the next review, because I think you just want something to be connected more than it needs to, because there is I'm going to wait till spoilers before I say what I'm going to say.
Okay.
But there is a huge connection here that opens the door for everything now.
And I'm going to talk about it in spoilers too, because I've read Secret Wars and I've read Agents of Asgard.
Right. So here's the thing, though. So the thing is, I know exactly where you guys are going with that, but then you have to also remember we have Multiverse of Madness. We have all these things which I have an idea which we're going to go into later video, you know, or at least I guess I'll say on my side when we get to that video, because I've been sitting here thinking about it all. And it's, again, I want to make sure I put this out there, because I know people are like, oh, so he hates it. No, I'm not hating on this show. This is one of the best Disney Plus shows ever.
This is
season 1 and season 2.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Down.
Before I give my rating, this is not the best season of a Marvel show. This is the best period thing Marvel ever made. Period. Arguably.
Even better than Avengers, like itself, or like as in like
I understand, because, and this is not even a knock on you, because I completely understand this logic, because I would feel the same way too. There's a scope to Avengers, there's a scope to all of that, and like they're tying up storylines and tying up this.
Mm-hmm.
This show is so deftly put together without missing a hair. Like there's like, this is almost a 10 out of 10. Like, and you're never going to hear me say that. For TV shows, my scale is slightly broken, but I feel like you could watch this whole show and almost struggle to find anything wrong with it.
And I'll give you my theory too when we get into spoilers. Yes,
but it's for what it is in its box, it's near perfect.
As a standalone show, yes,
exactly,
absolutely,
right. And you don't even need to see the first season, arguably, because you can just watch the recaps for this. Anyways, let's give a score. Let's give
Buddy.
Oh, me?
You go first. We want to hear yours first.
Okay, no, I'll still give it a 9 out of 10. It's not 10 out of 10 for me, but I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
So you're rating it higher than you did the first season.
I don't remember what I rated the first season.
I think you gave it like an 8.4 or 8.3.
Did I really?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember either.
I went back and watched the review.
Okay, well then, I mean,
he's cheating. He went back.
Yeah, right.
I didn't go back. That's cheating.
I didn't either. But no, I mean, the thing is, both seasons do fit perfectly nice. I still, I mean, if I was to do that and change the tide, then I would say this would be 8.5 and that would be 9. Either way, my point in this whole thing
That's
is
fair.
my whole thing is I still like the first season better, but as a whole, this is the most. I even said this before when we talked about Loki. I said Loki was my favorite Disney Plus series. I still hands down say that Loki. Again, the reason why I like the first season is because we had that dark side to him, like Loki. He's still that mischievous. Again, he's god of mischief. That's what I want to have. We didn't get that god of mischief, I feel, in this, but not saying that it's bad.
Okay, so hold on. We're going to go into spoilers. And we're not going to make the spoilers too long because if you could go to Putty's channel, there will be a link. He has a full discussion video where we're going to talk about stuff as well. Okay, this is hard for me because it's just one season of a show. So like scaling for me is different. If I'm ranking an entire show, I got to be more accurate. If I'm ranking, but I'm having like, they're going to end up combining for one score, right? So I'm probably at like an 8-8 here for this. Maybe close, maybe even up to a 9, but I'll just say 8-8. And I think I give the first season like 7-7. But like I never, not never. In the recent memory of watching Marvel shows and Star Wars shows, I have not wanted to come back to find out what's going to happen so badly as I did here.
Yeah, I was anticipating every episode every week.
Yeah. Okay, JD, what's your score?
I'm giving it a 9.2.
9.2 or 9 as well?
9.2. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is the first time, like I said, since Disney Plus started airing the shows, I wanted to come back every week to find out what happened.
I mean, that's completely fair. Putty did make some good points. Okay, we're going to go into full spoilers now. So if you don't want spoilers, that's the rankings. Just like in terms of spoilers, I mean, I don't have really many, but I think everything that happened in this show is integral because it showed the fracture of the timelines, the opening of the multiverse, what could happen, the reason for the Kang
is it
stuff.
a multiverse? I think the multiverse and the timelines are two separate things.
I think that the multiverses are the timelines, and we think that it's multiple universes, but really it's just fractured timelines that have gone in different directions.
See, it's funny.
So if there's fractured timelines gone in different directions, that means every character throughout Marvel is the same, has to be the same actor.
In a sense, yes, but also they might not exist in those universes. Some of them.
So I'm gonna
they might have like whatever happened in the fracture may have made it so that person never existed.
Kind of like what they not at the end of Marvel's. That person never existed there.
Well, that's why I want to teeter because I know there's some people who are watching this review that haven't watched the Marvels, and it's gonna be the same thing over there. That's why I felt like the state of the MCU is gonna be perfect to sum everything up that I'm gonna go into. But I'm gonna use Multiverse of Madness and then what's another good one? I guess WandaVision. No, WandaVision would fit into Multiverse of Madness. I'm trying to think of what other ones have the other alternate timelines that I haven't thought about at the moment.
Probably Quantumania.
There we go. That's
it's a different realm.
Yeah. So the thing is
because they even mentioned it at the end of this last episode. They said a Kang was defeated in the 616 adjacent realm.
So I wanted that's exactly what I was hinting at. The one thing there's the whole thing where it comes to multiverse and timeline, and I feel like they're trying to eventually make a thread, and I'll explain that in a later video what I feel, because again it's going to go into something else that we can't talk about right now. But the whole thing is this: Loki is such a standout, but I'm also like I kind of agree with you guys where it's like I wanted to link, but at the same time I wanted to stand on its own for one reason. The ending itself is so beautifully seen, like just that picture of him in that seat,
that is straight out of the final page of Agents of Asgard, completely.
Yes, so
and he becomes the god of stories.
Yes, so that's the point I'm sitting right there, is if they stop there and then you continue from there, because here's the other thing, and this is one to bring up that's making me a little bit mixed. I like this series, but what hurts me is this is an alternate Loki. This is not the Loki that ended up in Endgame, or no, sorry, Infinity War. This isn't the Loki that was in that fought with Thor against his sister. This is the Loki that before the Avengers thing, like Avengers ended, and that whole battle happened. That's that Loki, okay, or right after the battle when they tapped him. So if we were to bring this Loki into the world of Secret Wars, and he finally sees his brother, these are two different timeline brothers. This is a different Loki. This is a different Thor. Now, that'd make a great story. Their chemistry together is amazing. Here's my thing.
They're not ever coming back together.
Well, the thing is, that's the thing. If they don't do that, then I'm very happy. And the reason I say this is because I like the chemistry between both Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth. The problem is Tom Hiddleston's death in Infinity War was so impactful that if you bring it back and let him see his brothers alive in another timeline, I feel like it's going to hurt that scene in any way because it's not going to have that same impact and it's going to lose it. Go ahead. I mean, that's
hi, my name's Campo.
I'm an alcoholic.
You're an alcoholic.
Listen, okay, so this is two things. This is the end of this Loki. To me, he's now the holder of the timelines or whatever his name is.
God of Stories.
God of Stories. He's going to be in that spot forever. But this Loki also knows from working with the TVA for technically centuries.
Yeah.
That he can never ever interact with Thor again. So that will never happen.
He's stuck there.
If Loki does meet Thor, it will be a different version of Loki, right?
It might be Sylvie.
It could be Sylvie. I do see that. But the one big like important part of the show that I don't even know if a lot of people really grasped it. He's not a hero. Okay?
No.
He came to the realization when he's talking to Sylvie. He says, "We're
He's selfish.
gods." He understood his job. Like, I'm a god. I have to do what a god would do and save the people with sacrificing myself. So he took that position in the timelines where he can never leave again. He's stuck there as the tree of
he essentially became Yggdrasil.
Yeah,
in Norse
exactly.
Norse mythology, the tree Yggdrasil is the tree of life. And that's exactly what he became.
That speaks even more to him because he's technically a frost giant. He's not a Norse mythology person, but he's accepted his fate as the adopted son of Odin, that I must do this position, which there's so many layers to that. And I think a lot of people missed over that. Like the depth of this show is mental to me.
Well, see, but that's the other thing too, that goes back to what I was telling you before, why I also kind of like it. And that's because you have to understand, Thor was always the one that was, I am the top tier god. I'm the one that protects people. You're just
a battler.
You're just a clown. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the first movie, he was a dick.
Yeah, but I get it. But that's what I'm saying. That's the whole point. If you actually were to improvise that, and you can at least say that when he sees his brother and sees his brother putting that sacrifice way above beyond even what Thor would do, that right there hits a lot different. Then it becomes something way more visceral, not visceral, but what's the word I'm looking for, more like impactful, because you've got to think everyone put Thor on that high list, but then to take Loki and say, oh no, I'm going above and beyond what my brother would do and making it to where I can't even see the people I love anymore. I literally sacrifice myself.
But see, he can see everybody through there.
What do you? Yeah,
but they can't see him.
What do you think of the current rumor going around the internet that what's Owen Wilson's character?
Mobius.
Mobius is Odin. And that the whole time it was Odin trying to show Loki that he
the way
purpose.
Yeah, I remember saying. Yeah, I like
right now. That is the hottest Marvel rumor on the internet. Is that Loki is?
That would be a great one. That would be a great one. But then, but then, what would that mean though? Would that mean that the Odin was another variant that died in Ragnarok, or was that
Odin that died in Ragnarok is the 616 Odin? We don't know what timeline Mobius is from.
We technically don't know which one. And that's a good thing. And I like how they left that really vague. They don't actually tell you where any of those characters we see are specifically from.
And see, this is going to go great later on in the conversation.
Because what's her name? B-15, Hunter B-15. She was a doctor in 2012 during the Chitauri attack, and there was no attack going on, because or else she would have recognized who Loki was.
That's good. I didn't even think of that. Hitting us with the fire. That's what I think. This is why I think Loki is important to the scope of what you were saying originally. There's so many little tidbits here that are clearly purposefully put in. like for us to find out later.
And remember what I said about when they did Infinity War? I said this whole MCU is going to be like a tree. It starts off with the roots forming the trunk. And right now we're at the trunk with Loki. And all of a sudden it's going to splinter off again.
Well, here's the thing. And again, we're going to go into that later on with the state of the MCU is, but I think I've kind of figured out what's going on, because things have been a mess when it comes to these movies and just MCU in general. But then here's the thing, though. I think at this point, Kevin Feige has thought, it's a mess. Let's play with this. And I'm going to explain that later when we get into the state of the MCU and everything. And I'm going to give you guys like a broader sense of what I mean by that. Because here's the thing. We're screwed up. We're going to have to reset. And I think, JD, you were right in the first place. I think what I hope is not going to happen is going to happen. And unfortunately, it's going to happen. But I think it's going to happen in a big way with Secret Wars. And there's a reason why we have all these multiple different things happening, because let's just say this. It's because they don't know what they're doing. And it's happened before in another series of movies.
There was a panic move that just happened recently.
And see, the thing is, I think the panic move is they're implementing something else in that panic move. And again, we will get into it. So I feel like Loki might actually be a safe one. And the reason I feel Loki is the safe one is because it's self-contained. It's one of those ones that they say, we can go back to this if we really need it, if everything else fails. But this, because Loki's so loved and everything. I mean, there you can tell that based on the movies and the shows, they're trying to say, hey, listen, we know we screwed up. Let's just try to make spots that maybe one of these can turn out good, and then we could use that one as the way to kick off what's going to be happening in the next phase of things, or I should not say the next saga of things, which again we will get to later. But as far as Loki self-containing it, I'm happy they did. It's a very good story. It's very grounded. And then you brought in so many good characters that fit so well with the other characters. Like the relationship between Mobius and Ouroboros.
Ouroboros,
Ouroboros.
Yeah. But the chemistry between them, and then of course the chemistry between just all of them. They just work so well.
I think also the fact that they did not pursue the love story between Loki and Loki,
which was what they shouldn't have done.
They didn't. Yeah.
I think just this is sci-fi in the purest form. This is,
he even said it. It's the why.
Yeah, and they talk about it like as he goes through. Ouroboros says it a lot about like this is sci-fi, but like it's fiction. Like, yeah, I love how but it's science. I really liked a lot of that stuff. I think it's just a really well-made show, and it's kind of refreshing coming off the direction they've been going. As Star Wars has progressively been getting stronger, I think, and Marvel has been like teetering on the edge for a bit.
Yeah, and I hope this is a step in the right direction.
I do too. Okay, we're gonna stop this here, and we'll come back, check out our Marvels review later this week, and Putty's video as well. And peace out.